Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back. You're watching iAllegedly. And got a good one for you today. Up at the park, just hanging out with the ducks and with the geese. And we're going to talk about housing. Housing is definitely in a recession right now. And a lot of big implications because with housing, it affects everything else. Before I get into it, please take a second. Please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. Share this with everybody. And also, we have something exciting to announce. Foreclosure.com has been so pleased with the results of the iAllegedly channel that they are giving away 3 months free for Foreclosure.com to one lucky person. If you sign up with the link below and get the 7-day free trial, they're going to give away 3 months free to one lucky person a week from Friday. So on the 13th, they're giving away, one person's getting free 3 months free. You guys can search for foreclosures. You can search for short sales. You can, pre-foreclosures. Set yourself an email list, but check it out. Sign up for a 7-day trial, and they're going to give one lucky person 3 months free. The link is below. Now, speaking of foreclosures, let's get into this. We talked about how over the weekend when I spoke to my foreclosure expert that the foreclosures, are basically there's a holding period with the banks. Well, here's something that's, now that we're in August, here's something that's really interesting, and that is that foreclosure filings since January are up 219%. But the banks are, again, holding back to try to get people to do everything they can to not be, to lose their home. Okay, it's just that simple. And one thing that's happened over the course of the last couple years now, here's the thing. There are two types of people that bought houses lately. People that bought them over 2 years ago and they don't have to worry about equity. They're just in a good spot because they got a low interest rate in the twos and the house went up in value a ton. Those people, if they have an ounce of financial discipline amongst themselves, they're going to be able to have an inexpensive house and be able to keep the house and stay there. Now, there's other people that have bought these homes over the course of the last 2 years that paid at the top of the market and continue to go out and borrow money. And those people have got real problems because, they're instead of just working on your finance and keeping your house separate, they're turning the house into the ATM. And this has always been a problem. We saw this in the build-up to 2008, and we're seeing it again now because people just cannot, look at this, guys, look at all these birds. People just cannot stay away from the house ATM. Gotta have it. Gotta have their credit card bills. Now, Rocket Mortgage is the largest mortgage company in the country. They do more first mortgages and refinances than anybody else. But what they're known for right now, what they want to be known for, is for new second trust deeds. They're going to lend people between $25,000 and $350,000 on a fixed rate based on their equity. They want people to still maintain 10% equity in their home, but they're going to give these people a fixed rate loan. You cannot get the interest rate for these loans yet. And again, it's going to be based on your income and based on your credit. But these people they're pitching Rocket Mortgages to get yourself a second mortgage. And again, read the story below because it's great. But they're talking about how people are in credit card debt. People have gotten themselves, in over their heads and they need a way out. And they don't want to sell their home, so they want to borrow against it. Again, an ounce of fiscal responsibility, folks. That's it. That's all it takes right now. Just say no. Don't go on that trip. Don't buy the stuff you don't need. And guess what? You won't need to go borrow against your house. Again, just what's wrong with just sitting at home? I would never do that. My weekends need to be traveling. I need to be doing stuff. I need to have new surfboards and new paddle boards and all the stuff that I see people buying. These electric cars now here in Southern California are nuts that these people are spending all this money on. Paddle boards, all this stuff. It's just crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And with that, they're very expensive. These hobbies are not cheap to do. And these people go out and they borrow themselves to their eyeballs. Now, here's the thing. Last month, we had the largest amount of consumer debt ever which is almost $300 billion added to people's consumer debt because they're borrowing to get themselves to maintain their lifestyle. And again, that is horrific, guys. It's a horrible way to live right now. It really is. So these people that are doing this are going to pay the price for this. Now, Rocket Mortgage is also going to have HELOCs, which are the variable loans that you can get against the house that are basically credit loans. So again, this gets people into trouble because when people lose their job or lose their income, it's a problem because these are the things that people are going to foreclose on first. In June, there was 982,000 new homes that started construction. That's a lot, guys, almost 1 million houses. The building industry has contracted 19% since February of 2022. And we're off 16% from a year ago. But what this tells us, guys, is that it's going in the wrong direction. Now, you've got pockets of good where you look at an area like Pittsburgh that is not being affected nearly as bad as an area like Denver, for example. And the stories below and all this stuff, but the western states are going to take the biggest hit. And the western states are the ones that saw the highest increase in property values over the last year. Geese just hanging out. So you're seeing that. Now, housing in general is off. And one thing we've talked about quite a bit is Australia. In Australia, there's a big builder, Metricon. Metricon has thousands of employees. Metricon just said, hey, listen, we're fighting for survival right now. Now, I gotta give them credit because it's not sugarcoating this. We need to cut this back. We need to do what we can do to survive right now to get ourselves through these difficult times. And they've just laid off another 200 employees. And again, cutting staff, cutting costs, doing everything they can to survive during this time. But they are convinced that they can do it. We'll see. But you're seeing builders completely walk away from major building, the bubbly hangover, as they call it in Australia, which I love, which means, people were just drinking champagne and buying properties, and it was fantastic. Those days are done, guys. They're completely finished, and Australia knows it, and we know it out here. But people, man, they just can't get away from borrowing money to live a certain lifestyle, to keep themselves in debt, man. I'm telling you guys, you just don't even listen to me. Ask anybody you know that doesn't have any bills. Now, you can say, oh, Harry's such a boring guy. He's such a square guy. He doesn't go out, doesn't do anything, and I know he doesn't have any debt. Okay, maybe he's not the perfect person to talk to. Talk to somebody that lives a little bit. Talk to somebody that goes out a little bit, but budgets their money, but is not a debt clown, okay? I mean, seriously, the freedom, okay? Freedom that I have is unbelievable, guys. It really is. And I was talking to the Economic Ninja today about this. We were talking about just how people don't realize how they get themselves, they get themselves in these traps, and they think that they're going to be okay with the HELOC money. They think that they're going to be okay with these second mortgages, and they're just getting themselves into deeper. But listen, it's just that it's, one more time. If I do this just one more time, I won't have this problem later on. Yes, you will. Yes, you will. Because the world is contracting, business is contracting, everything is slowing down right now. When you hear that Amazon, 100,000 people from Amazon are lost their jobs, and that was quietly done like that, that's crazy. What about Robinhood, the stock trading app? They just announced today that they're going to get rid of 24% of their staff. Thousands of people, guys, are going to lose their job at Robinhood. So, the shape of things to come. What can we do to get by with less? That's what Mark Zuckerberg himself said. Facebook needs to be able to understand that we need to thrive and move forward on less. How do we do that? How do you do that? How do I do that? It's funny. I'm taking my own advice. I'm selling everything extra. Got an extra car right now? Getting rid of it, guys. So, no one's going to pay me more for this 6 months from now than they will right now. Okay, is it nice to have? Yes. Okay, my car's in the shop and you have the extra car, it's fantastic. Okay, is it needed? No. You know, all the stuff in the garage that I sat down and went through, all that stuff can be gotten rid of. But everything stems from housing. And with this housing recession that we are in, and again, people sit there and go, things are good right now. They are good. Things are great right now. You've got people still selling properties, but things are definitely different. They're slowing down. They're selling things, not at the same pace that they were. We're going to plant on this big rock. Not at the same pace that they were, 3 months ago, 2 months ago, just completely different. So with that being said, you're seeing houses that don't have the multiple offers. You're seeing, me talk to agents that say, listen, if I tell you this, please do not tell anybody that I had nobody show up to my open house. Wow. I just want you to know that. Well, why is that, guys? Is this guy's house all of a sudden in the wrong neighborhood? No. 3 people went over ask on this guy's street, and now they can't get an offer. They can't get anybody to show up right now. There's a man named Michael that is a subscriber he's a apartment investor and has a great newsletter that he sends me. And this guy, everything is knowledge-based, but everything is talking about one thing, and that is that it's slowing down. And people, this is what you're going to see first when it comes to investment properties. You're going to see people, like, let's say you have 3 wealthy dudes that own a place together, and one of them may not be doing that hot, getting divorced, or his main business is not doing good. I want to be bought out. Well, back in the day, these 2 guys could just write a check and get rid of the 3rd guy. Not right now, and they're having more and more difficulties. They're having more and more difficulties with appraisals. They're having more and more difficulties getting deals put together in a convenient way so that there's, it's smooth. The banks are holding back more. And again, deals are getting put together. You're seeing things close escrow, but they're not doing it the same way that they were a few months ago. And this is going to get much, much worse, much, much faster. But Rocket Mortgage getting into the second mortgage business is insane. It just is. Read the article because it's absolutely disturbing. If you think that these people should go out and they should be borrowing, $45,000 against their house to $350,000 against their house, that's the Southern California numbers. These people are going to borrow money at such a huge amount of money, higher interest rate, just to get themselves out of paying their credit card bills. Okay, you know what they do with what it's like 70% of those people that pay those bills off do? They go out and use the credit cards again, guys, and then they have 2 payments. So share your thoughts on all this stuff, guys, because this is just the beginning of this stuff. And again, is it bad yet? Absolutely not. Okay, does it get worse from here? Absolutely. I think that you're going to see this thing just careen downhill. But what we're seeing is markets like Las Vegas, my friend that lives there, how you're starting to see slowdowns, how you're starting to see agents that, again, don't have anybody show up to open houses. You're starting to see the builders that were promising August delivery dates, now with December delivery dates, now with early 2023. A friend of mine spoke to an air conditioning repairman. In the height of summer, one of the largest companies in Riverside is off about 25% right now. 25%. 2 reasons. Number one, listen, I know it's hot, but if we just use discipline and only turn the air conditioner on at the end of the day, we don't need to have it in the morning, and we don't have to have it serviced. So people are doing the first thing where they're putting the service off for the air conditioning, which is insane. And that's, again, the beginning of the end. They convince themselves we don't need it, and we won't spend the money. So this is the time of the year, guys, when everybody should be using air conditioning right now. So share your thoughts on all this stuff, guys. America being drunk on shopping, it's about to have a really bad hangover right now. And this is very evident by a few things. I keep getting written by people around the country that are sending me pictures from Walmart's, where Walmart is renting storage containers to put in the back of the stores. And the reason for that is that they want to store additional merchandise that's not being purchased. Hopefully that people are going to wake up and all of a sudden have money. Now, guys, I don't know about you, but I get people that write me, and still to this day, last week, 2 people, when's the next stimulus check coming? Never, guys. It's not coming. So with that notification, all these retailers went out and spent all this money on inventory thinking that you were going to buy everything from sporting goods to summer goods to barbecue goods to just lifestyle stuff, including electronics, to have a good time all the time just because you needed the latest new thing. The problem is people don't have the money for that. Now, this is self-evident by a couple great stories that are below, and that is Amazon just canceled 12 more warehouses. 12 more warehouses that were under construction have been permanently canceled. This leaves the total for this year, okay, up to 40 that they've canceled. 40 warehouses, guys, that are being canceled right now. And again, guys, you have to understand, it's not just Amazon. People use Amazon for fulfillment to ship their sporting goods and everything else I just talked about right there. So with that being said, 40 places are being closed. Now, here in the western part of the United States, you've got Orange County that's attached to Riverside County, and then part of the next county over is San Bernardino County, which is the largest county in the country, and it extends all the way to the Nevada state line. So San Bernardino has got more warehouses that have been built there over the course of the last few years to fulfill all this stuff. There is anticipated that they have an additional, listen to this number, 1.3 billion square feet of additional square footage and warehouse space that they do not need. So the problem with it is that it's twofold. They're not building any more warehouses. A lot of the warehouses that they do have are full right now, and they cannot handle it with the staff of people that would normally be a fulfillment center that would move inventory in and out. Is not doing that. It is just keeping the inventory there, and they can't handle that right now. So, guys, this is bad when it comes to shopping, when it comes to purchasing. But again, if you're going to buy anything, guys, eventually the stuff has to go on sale. They just can't keep it. You just can't stick it in a storage container and hope that you're going to buy the blow-up thing, for the pool next year. Look for deals and get those deals. And again, the Traeger, the Blackstone, griddle, all that stuff. If you guys want that stuff, start searching. Get your price point, and if that's something that you want to have and it's a good time, go out and get it right now, because you will get deals eventually on that. But you're gonna have to do a little homework and look around and shop, and with that, you'll get a good deal. So let me know what you guys think about this. But again, people are not purchasing the things that they did, a few months ago. People are stealing credit cards to buy food right now. The number one thing that people are doing when they steal those credit cards right now is purchasing at restaurants and in stores and things like that, where they would be buying stuff just a few months ago. So this gets worse. When people get more desperate and crime ticks up, people get more desperate for the simplest of things. So protect yourself and be ready for this stuff, guys. Now, to keep with our theme on real estate heading into a recession, there are companies that keep great records, stats on everything with real estate. There's a company called Black & Knight that keeps these records, and Black & Knight just issued a report and said that we have just seen the largest deceleration of home sale prices in the history of record keeping. That it just turned the corner, and that June is the month that started it all. So the downturn started in June, according to them. But we also saw in June the largest number of homes listed for sale in the last 12 years in 1 month across the country, guys. It's not just this hot market or that hot market. there are a ton of houses that are for sale everywhere. And that should be concerning when it comes to the real estate recession that we are experiencing, and it's only going to escalate bigger. Now, worldwide, Germany just issued a report on their retail sales that was nothing short of awful. And they said they had the worst retail sales report in almost 40 years. That's horrific, and it's only going to get worse. And as we exit summer and get towards the shopping season of fall and winter, it's only going to get worse. And they anticipate that there's going to be nothing but bigger problems when it comes to German retail, which again is a sign that we're going to have problems. Now, the British, I love them because they're so proper and so kind in everything that they do. And here's a perfect example. They're experiencing a lot of business problems, and people are experiencing the largest number of insolvencies and liquidations that they've ever had on record. In fact, they're up 350% this year alone. Well, what is an insolvency? What is a liquidation? It's a bankruptcy, guys. More business bankruptcies, more individual insolvencies that they've ever had. And again, it's going up and it's only getting worse. And again, very kind way of putting it, but business, people are not spending the money in the UK for goods and services. They're having supply chain issues in the UK. They cannot get stimulus money to support the businesses, to keep them going for any length of time. So this is only getting worse. And again, very proper way of putting it, liquidation and insolvency. So again, I feel sorry for these people that are in the UK that are experiencing this, because it's awful, and it's only going to get worse right now. So, speaking of that, if you're in a business and it's done, and you know it's done, and you're just deep in debt, you'd be better off to cut your losses now while you can do something else, get a job, liquidate, sell things, get rid of your inventory while people have money, because I think in 6 months it's going to be a much more difficult place to do this. I also think it's going to be worse a year from now, when it will be near impossible to do something like that. Now, one thing that we're experiencing here in the West is a water shortage, and great story below about how bad the water drought is here in California. And again, this construction, I cannot even imagine what they're going to do when they can't get water rights to these housing tracts. So the cutbacks are not working. People are not really taking it seriously and doing what they should be doing as far as watering less and showering less, and not flushing the toilet more than once a day. I mean, all this stuff that they recommended that is insane, but that's how bad it is right now. But you're going to add thousands of new houses to the mix. How do you do that? You can't do that. So it's just a matter of time until we see the Colorado River completely dry up in certain spots. That Lake Mead's going to be, a sand pit for dune buggies soon. It's going to be absolutely catastrophic. So share your thoughts on all this stuff, guys. Let me know what you think, because this is not getting better, guys. It's just getting worse. But the housing situation, I really think June is the month. June is, from when you read stories like this, June is when the recession started. And again, if you got a good deal and you put a ton of money down in your house and you can afford the payment and your lifestyle is such that you don't need to borrow money, then stick with your house. Don't worry about getting rid of it. Don't worry about the value of your home, because you shouldn't worry about that. You weren't supposed to buy your house to have it be a cash ATM, even though so many people did that. The people that bought in these smaller markets, that the housing tracts were worth $250,000 that are now worth $500,000, those people have got a problem right now. They really do. So let me know what you guys think about this, and I just think trouble's coming. I'm going to finish this video with these last few stories. And one thing that is very evident out there is that scammers are out there. They're out there on the YouTube channels like mine and larger channels. These people impersonate us. They use our artwork, and then they act like you're supposed to communicate with them. They are all scammers. Buyer beware, guys, because they're not me, and you need to report these people. I do not text you. I do not use WhatsApp or Telegram or any of that shenanigans that these idiots are using, and you're not dealing with me, to say the least. Second thing is, Ernest sent me a great email today about Zelle and the latest scam with Zelle. And, you know, we've talked about this before in the past about how you have to protect yourself. If you get that email, you know, or that text message and it just doesn't look right, call the bank. Well, what's happening is on Facebook Marketplace and other sales places, Craigslist, things like that, Let Go, whatever you use, people are out there and the people say, hey, listen, I've got to pay you via Zelle. What's your Zelle name? And then you send it and they say, hey, listen, because of the size of the transaction, I have to send you more money and you have to have a business account because you're locked. And then they send you this email right here that is an absolute scam. And again, you'd have to be foolish to take this seriously because it's not written to you. It's not written to this individual. It is just an absolute, hey, buyer beware, you know, your account's been locked out. Again, classic scam that they use with Bank of America's logo on it. So, crazy, okay? Do not click on this stuff. Do not sell things on this stuff. Do not take payment like this. Just say no to these people. And if you're desperate to sell things, you know, don't meet these degenerates. Don't let them pay you and I'll pick it up in a few days. Anything like that, that sounds too good to be true. It is too good to be true. So, speaking of Bank of America, one other thing that hit me this week was Bank of America in Irvine. When you went to the Irvine branch, they let people know, hey, we have no tellers this week. So if you need any transactions done, you can't do them in the office here. You have to do them online or via the ATM. Okay, I need a cashier's check. I need to transfer money and send a wire. Oh, yeah, we can't do that right now. I don't know why they're open. I seriously do not know why the Bank of America in Irvine that people have sent me photos to, that they have no tellers this week through the end of the week. Okay, don't know if it's health related, don't know if it's labor related, don't know if it's stupidity related. I just don't know. But again, multiple banks, guys, multiple banks. So, final story is who said you can't get a good job out there right now? For the first time in over a year, there's less than 11 million jobs out there that are available. And this should be a concern to all of us because the word stagflation is going to be shoved down our throats soon because we're going to be living through stagflation, which is high inflation, high unemployment, and low demand. It's just that simple, guys. And you're going to see, because these guys wanted to tell us that we had 4% unemployment, you're going to see that rise dramatically. And because of their fudging of the numbers, they're going to get what they deserve with this one. So there's less than 11 million jobs available right now. There's less work out there than there was before, but there's a great job out there at a place called Candy Funhouse. You could be the chief candy taster and they will pay you $78,000 a year. 78 grand a year, guys, to taste candy. How about that? I mean, an old man like me would die of blood sugar explosion, whatever, okay? But imagine that. And you have to be able to try hundreds of pieces of candy a day. So, sounds like fun for an hour, I guess. But, you know, and by the way, you're going to be chief candy, it's a chief candy coordinator. Anyways, you get a cool title and everything too. So 78 grand and you get a title and you get to eat candy all day long. Okay, you may be able to do this remotely where they send you everything. Okay, do not forget to hit the like button. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Please don't forget, if you sign up for a 7-day free trial of foreclosure.com, if you are into the foreclosure market right now, this is the best time to do it because one lucky person a week from Friday is going to get their name drawn from that list that signs up and will be given 3 months free. And if you've already paid for the service, they're going to refund your account. So for those of you that have already signed up, you're eligible too. That's the thing I worked out. So onward and upward, guys. I will see you guys very soon, but take a look at that link below and reach out with any questions. I really appreciate all the Black Swan recommendations on what you guys think is going to be the next Black Swan event. We will share all that with you guys in a future video. Onward and upward, guys. Reach out anytime. I will see you guys very soon.